Moving to Utah in the next 90 days, don't just wing it. If you don't have a clear relocation plan, you'll waste money, you'll miss deadlines, and most importantly, you'll arrive completely stressed out. And this is no way to start out a new life in a new state. Today, I'm giving you the exact 90-day step-by-step blueprint that I've used with countless people and families in relocating successfully to the state of Utah. And all of this is so that the move actually feels exciting and exhilarating rather than overwhelming. And the title and thumbnail of this video is exactly what I'm promising to deliver in this video. It's a 90-day timeline, a blueprint as to how you need to make the move here to make sure that you don't feel this way, to make sure that you arrive and you meet the expectations that you're set out to find. And I'm about to deliver exactly just that, what you need to do at day 30, at day 60, at day 90, and by the end, you'll have a complete roadmap as to what you need to do. And along the way, I'll even include some Utah insider tips that most people don't think about. So if Utah is your next home, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll know how to make that move without all of that stress. So let's get started. Now, to begin, most people wait too long to really start the planning process, and to make sure that this plan is integrated, they start just weeks before the move, and that's a big mistake. And on the flip side, many people begin planning this move 6, 12, or even 18 months in advance, which is phenomenal, but the perfect timeline to begin actually making the move, where the rubber actually meets the road, is 90 days. And it's these 90 days where the foundation of your move is built. This is where the foundation of your new life begins, and it's critical to make sure that you have a great plan to make that move. So to kick things off, starting at day 90, when you're about 3 months out, this is the part where you're really deep into the research phase. Now, perhaps you've done a lot of research for the previous 6 months, 12 months, or even well beyond a year. This is the time where the research really matters. This is where you need to know what areas you're really concerned with, what areas you're really attracted to make sure that you're finding the right place for you that meets your expectations, both with lifestyle as well as your way of life and commute to work, whatever the case might be. You're going to want to research the different areas to see which one's best for you, and contrast and compare the pros and cons of each city or neighborhood. Do you want that urban lifestyle downtown in Salt Lake City, or are you looking for more of a suburban life out in the suburbs in Lehigh or Saratoga Springs? Or maybe you're going up north into Syracuse or Ogden, or you're looking for a second or vacation home in Park City. Regardless of what you're trying to accomplish, you want to do the research right here to make sure that you're not only finding a great landing place for you, but you don't want to feel that fear of missing out, so to speak, in that you feel like you've missed out on something that you should have researched beforehand. And one of the best tools that I incorporate into my blueprint for you to make that move as smooth as possible, to help aid you along that process of research, is doing video calls with you and sharing my screen where we can really share the map of the state of Utah and the cities within it to make sure that we're talking about the pros and cons of each and every one of these areas. It truly provides so much clarity for everybody that we do this with. It really does help. And at this stage of the game, at 90 days out, I would highly encourage we get on a video call to make sure that we do this with you. And next up, from day 90 up to day 60, when you're about to make that move, you want to also really heavily weigh the factors that affect your budget. We want to hone in on your budget, both with the house, but we also want to talk about the other elements of cost of living to make sure that you're in alignment with what your expectations are, to make sure that you can actually afford that home and afford to live here to begin with. We want to make sure that we dial in the pros and cons of both where you're moving from and where you're moving to, in terms of weighing and contrasting the different living expenses that are going to affect your daily life here. And it's that side-by-side comparison that will really help tell the story as to what you need to expect. Are your utilities going to cost more, or are they going to cost less here? The groceries, as well as all of the other elements of cost of living, we want to make sure that we cover all of these to make sure that you have healthy and realistic expectations. Okay, next up, in this day 60 to day 90 window, we want to make sure we lock in any job transfers or remote work setups or any business licenses if you're coming here to start a new business. We want to make sure that we do all of this in that 3rd month out to make sure that you're prepared, because as we get closer to month 2 and in that final month, we want to make sure that those things are already done and taken care of, which will alleviate so much of the stress. And let's be honest, we don't just live to work. Life is about so much more. So we want to think about the family family and the kids as well, we want to think about schools. We want to do our research. And for that, we have all of the resources you need to qualify and to make sure that you research the different school districts, as well as the schools, to make sure that you're landing in a place that works best for you. And at this stage of the game, it's best to do this research early and to apply to get your kids into those schools, if it's a charter school or whatever the case might be, to make sure that you're well ahead of the curve and you have that clarity moving into the final couple of months prior to making the move. Now, it's this window between day 60 and day 90 that a lot of people mess up and don't do correctly. And if you miss this stage, you're going to be scrambling later on in the transaction or in the move, which causes a lot of stress. Think of the 90-day mark in your move as the setting of the foundation for the blueprint for the entire build of the house or the move in making the move here to Utah. Okay, so now you've laid the groundwork, you've built the foundation, and you're now 60 days out. You've done everything right. So what's next? At 60 days out, everything begins to shift. Okay, now we're 60 days out. This is where the rubber really meets the road and the logistics get real here. You're not dreaming about this move anymore. You're actually executing. So what are the 5 things you really have to think about and do at this mark at 60 days out? Well, this is where we're actually executing the plan of the move. We're making sure that we're dialing in all of the things that you've already done research with to make them happen. And first and foremost, we need to secure movers. We need to make sure that we know what you're going to do to get the move actually made, logistically speaking, and we want to make sure that you secure those movers ahead of time. Now, whether your company is paying for it, or you're paying for it, or maybe you're doing a DIY approach with U-Haul, regardless, we're here to help. We have some really good moving companies and recommendations as well, so we build that into our framework and into our blueprint. And moving companies can get booked quickly, especially in the summertime. So I would encourage you to book early and book fast. Okay, so next up, this 60-day window of making the move here, the next phase is downsizing. This provides a great opportunity for you to declutter, to get rid of a lot of things that you're just not using, that you're not finding useful in your life anymore. So whether that means you're doing a garage sale or yard sale, or perhaps you're donating items, or you're selling things on Facebook Marketplace, this is a great opportunity to make this happen because it's going to make your move less stressful as you arrive. We all know what that feeling feels like, to really get rid of the things in our lives and in our homes that aren't serving us, that we haven't even touched in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. This is a great opportunity to declutter and to get rid of these things to make that move less stressful. Now, while I can't do that in the city where you're coming from or in a different state, I can help you here locally. If you need those things here locally, we have some good resources as well. We even have really good relationships with estate companies that sell off belongings and really liquidate everything within a home if needed. We do that quite frequently here in Utah. And if you need that service yourself, you might want to look into those companies in the state and or city that you're coming from. All right, next up in the 60-day window is to confirm school enrollment. This is crucial for making this move less stressful. The last thing you want in the final 30 days of making a move is trying to scramble to get all of these things taken care of. We're really doing everything in this window of time to make sure that we can take as much off of our plate as possible in that final month so that we can enjoy the process. And along those same lines, you want to really integrate and find your healthcare providers. For some people, this is really critical. For others, it's not nearly as important, but you want to make sure that you're tied in with your health insurance or your health networks and make sure that you find a good doctor that serves you well. Utah, luckily, has an incredibly good healthcare system with phenomenal doctors and specialists, so I don't think that's going to be a problem whatsoever, but you want to make sure that you cross these things off of your list now, as opposed to the final few weeks or a couple of days in making this move. Because if something were to happen to you right before or during the move or shortly thereafter, you don't want to be having to do that research and do these things in the heat of the moment when you need the care the most. And while on this topic, Utah has some phenomenal hospitals as well, including a wide variety of specialty clinics as well as treatment centers for whatever you might be going through. So Utah has a tremendous healthcare system. I would just encourage you to create alignment with that ahead of time so that you're not doing so in the heat of the moment. And the last thing you need to do in this window of time is to research utility providers to make sure that you know what you're going to have to do once you make that offer and you close on that new home. We want to make sure that you're all dialed in and set up. One of the things that we do in our blueprint at this stage of the game is we provide the providers to you to make sure that you can do any research if you're looking for a specific internet provider, for example, but we also give you all of their contact information, phone numbers, etc. in one nicely packaged email to make sure that you have those resources available whenever you need them, so that when the move actually happens, it's just a quick few moments to make those phone calls. And all of these things are to say, at day 60, this is where you're turning decisions into action. And this step ensures that your actual move here doesn't blindside you. All of these things that we've done in day 60, day 90, these previous 2 months in making the move here are setting you up for success. Now, this is where most people hit the panic button. This is 30 days out from the move. This is where people oftentimes get so stressed because they're so concerned about all of the logistics and all of the things that we're talking about. But if you've followed our blueprint and our plan up to this point, you're going to feel much more calm and confident, and most importantly, in control. Okay, we're at the 30-day mark. This is the point where most people feel completely overwhelmed and unprepared, especially when making that move across state lines. But this is where your preparation has really paid off. This means you get to enjoy the process of looking at those homes over the course of these months, as well as making that offer and navigating the transaction itself. This is going to pay off greatly during this period to make sure that you're doing so and making sure that this experience can actually be fun. Okay, so this 30-day window, these last 30 days, this is the countdown to the move. Number one, you need to make sure that you're packing up your belongings really well. If you need resources for some tips or advice on how to do so, we have those as well. We don't leave any stone unturned, but packing is an art form. Some people are better at it than others. So whether you're hiring a company to pack your home and move everything for you, or you're packing yourself, this is the time period where you're really starting to do so. I would encourage you also maybe get rid of some of those things or pack some of those things that you don't need well ahead of time, so that these final few weeks are easier for you when you're packing the essentials. And next up on the list is to change your address. This can be with your banks, with the postal service. This is with everything within your life where you need to change your address. We'll give you the resources to go to the DMV, to get your driver's license here, all of those things as well, but you've got to change your address. And if you do it ahead of time, it is so much less stressful than wondering after you've made the move, is my mail going to get here? Am I going to have to pay a price in somehow, some way because I forgot to change my address? And this extends beyond just these things. It really goes deeper into subscriptions or other things that really come into play. Make sure that you get your address changed everywhere that you need to, and this is going to alleviate stress after the move. And when it comes to Utah specifics with the DMV and with registering your vehicle here and driver's license and everything like that, we have some phenomenal resources here in terms of our locations that we can go to. You're not going to sit in line endlessly here in Utah. I've gone to the DMV many, many times, and every time I'm there, whether I make an appointment ahead of time or not, I'm never there for more than 30 or 40 minutes. It is really quick, it's really efficient, and there are multiple locations in very convenient locations that make it really easy. Okay, next up, besides the fact that we're navigating the real estate transaction in purchasing your new home, we need to, at this point in the game, confirm dates for the movers, because oftentimes as we navigate a transaction, dates can move a little here and there, especially if you're selling a home in the city where you're coming from and you're buying a home here. We're going to be in constant communication with the agent that you're working with in the city where you live and here to make sure that we're working out deadlines and making sure that we can make that move as smooth as possible. And this is where we really need to pin down those dates for the movers, so we want to confirm that at this stage in the game. And another really out-of-the-box recommendation that we built into our blueprint is to connect with locals on a local level through Facebook groups. Facebook groups here in Utah are a phenomenal resource to integrate yourself into your new community. I would recommend plugging yourself into those groups or those communities early on before you actually make the move. You will be absolutely shocked how many people will come out of the woodwork to help you, especially in those days that you're actually making the move. You'll have people coming over bringing treats, bringing drinks, whatever the case might be, or even lending a helping hand. People in Utah are very friendly, and if you connect to those groups and just introduce yourselves ahead of your move, you're going to be astounded as to how many people are going to be there to help you. And it's a great way to really integrate yourself in a community and find like-minded people and find the meetups or the barbecues or the different community events where you can really feel like this new community becomes your new home. And this final 30-day window is the phase where you bring the whole plan together and tie up all of the loose ends. Without this, you'd show up in Utah feeling behind. But with this plan and integrating its plan into your life, you're ahead of the curve. So what happens when you've actually landed here in Utah and you're at the finish line? Here's how you wrap it all up. We are the top relocation team here in Utah, and we've built this system to make sure that we can guide you through this process. So, as always, my team and I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. Our guidance and our professionalism in managing this transaction is going to bring great advantages to you in making that move smoothly to make sure that you land in a place where you're hoping to create a new life. And to me and to our team, this is the most important factor in all of this. So if you haven't already, reach out to us. You can find our contact information down in the description below, or you can book a video call with us in that link that you'll find in the pinned comment on this and every video. And there it is. There's the 90-day plan that you need to make this move to Utah as smooth as possible. We started by building the foundation of this plan at 90 days out. Then we moved into all of the logistics of the move at day 60. And finally, in those last 30 days, we executed everything that we need to do, in addition to the transaction itself of purchasing a new home here, to make this move smooth for you. By following this blueprint, you'll arrive in Utah calm, prepared, and confident that this is a great place for you to make a new home. And remember, the biggest mistake that people oftentimes make is they wait too long to start preparation, to make sure that they have this game plan put together, and to make sure that they're preparing themselves for navigating such an incredible journey across state lines. But now you've got the insider's blueprint to avoid all of that chaos. And if this video gives you clarity, imagine how much more so you'll have in an expert guide and relocation team along your side during this entire process. And look, I help people and families just like you make the move to Utah every single day. I'm super passionate about this. I absolutely love what I do. So reach out to me, and if this content is really helpful for you, I would love it if you would take a moment and hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me because it helps me get in front of more people just like you, the very people that I'm looking to serve. So reach out to us, we're here for you. And if you're looking to learn more about life in Utah, check out this playlist next. And until the next video, thanks.